Okay, I'm back with what I'm calling part 2 of my Haus Labs first impressions, and right off the bat, I didn't think this was clear enough in my last video, but I am a huge Lady Gaga stan, as evidenced by this amazing Stupid Love shirt. Get into it, it's amazing. So I'm going to go through and do a look using the new Stupid Love palette from Haus Labs, and I'll spend some time, explaining why, even though I'm a big Lady Gaga fan, it took me so darn long to try Haus Labs. More on that later. First, I'm prepping the eyes with a light concealer from Covergirl, and then, here we go, going in with my first shadow there. It is the matte white eyeshadow called 911, and I'm putting that on the brow bone and the kind of upper part of my eye to set the concealer and work as kind of a white base underneath the shadows I'm going to use. Now this look was inspired by this beautiful young man, Mr. Fabulous from Houston, Texas on Instagram. So yeah, it's not going to be a complete recreation, but this was my inspiration. Here we go! This is the color that did it for me. This beautiful matte cobalt blue called Sine. S-I-N-E. And I'm going to start by packing that all over my lid with a MAC 236? 229? Let me check. That's a 239 from MAC. Copy that, over and out. So this is going all over the lid, as I mentioned. And this was the color that made me want this palette. And this is the color that makes me want a lot of palettes. You could say that this is my color. I am always drawn to this really, bright, true, royal cobalt azzurro blue. My room is painted almost this color. I'm drawn to this color in glasses and clothes. It's like my power color. And now I'm taking this shade Enigma and dropping the palette. Oops, oops. Don't worry, it's okay. Thank God this room's carpeted. So with a MAC 217 brush, which is a fluffier brush, I'm taking that lighter kind of cerulean sky blue, and that is going above where I placed the color Sine and up through my crease to the brow bone. So I'm kind of using this as a transition color, but you'll see in a moment I'll once I get enough of this lighter blue on, I'll then start adding the darker blue in between those, sandwiching it. Now, it's not my power color, but this sky blue is also really beautiful. It's the darker one that drew me to this palette, but I love this color combination. And I'm just realizing now that, duh, it's gonna match my tie-dye shirt so nicely. So I'm just using windshield wiper motions to blend that back and forth to get a nice blend. Blue is one of the hardest colors, apparently, to create a blendable eyeshadow with. So when you get a blue eyeshadow, especially a matte one, that is really nice and pigmented and blends well, then you're living the dream, my friend. And these ones, so far, are performing pretty well. When I blend, I do need to sometimes pack the color back on because some of the pigment will blend away when combining those two colors. But that's okay. I can deal with it. Anyone know how to fix my bar stool? Comment down below. Let me know. Okay, so now I'm taking this Bold Metals 203 brush, which is kind of a nice in-between the 217 and the 239. And I'm sandwiching more of the dark blue Sine color in between. So we get a nice fade from the dark blue to the light blue. So I mentioned it's that Sine color that drew me to this palette. And that color has drawn me to a number of palettes and just single eyeshadows in the past. So let me show you a few. So we can also compare the Haus Laboratories blue to some other blues on the market. So first I'll swatch the color Sine for you. Pretty darn good for a matte blue eyeshadow. The next is the Alyssa Edwards Anastasia collab palette, and this is the shade Dream It. This shade is it leans more purple than Sine. And I found it's a little chalkier and kind of thinner feeling than the Haus Lab Shadow. The Natasha Denona Tropic palette has this beautiful, almost navy shade called Tiger Lily. And when a color is metallic or shimmery, it's a much easier kind of formula for blue. This is just I don't even know the name of it. It's actually single eyeshadow by H&M. And finally, this one hurts the most. This is a Nars Shadow called Outremer, which I saved up for a really long time, was so stoked to finally take the splurge. It's $30 for a single eyeshadow, and it's so disappointing. Watch this swatch. Like chalky, powdery, almost nothing. So hard to work with. So disappointing. Yeah, so although Sine, you do have to layer it to get like full maximum payout, it blends pretty well and is fairly pigmented. Way to go, Haus Labs. Also, these shadows are performing very well, especially considering I did not put any kind of base other than a bit of concealer under my eyes. I find recently people are very quick to give a bad review when a product isn't like instantly full pigment, absolutely perfect, like kind of do it all, especially for eyeshadow. But often makeup artists layer products. You would often put a colored base, a black base, maybe a white base underneath, something sticky, creamy, maybe an eyeliner. So, I mean, products are made to work in a variety of different ways and not just have one use. Yeah. This I know will look even more amazing with a blue base or a dark base underneath. Okay, so once I'm kind of happy with that final blend and it's as pigmented as I want it, I'm going to move on to the next steps of this look. So I have gone off camera and put on my eyebrows, and I am going to clean up the bottom a bit. I thought I would have to really like wipe it down because I was applying kind of messily, but I found that just a Q-tip around the edges is helping me kind of refine the shape that I'd like, so that I can then put the same blue colors under the lower lash line as well, using that first MAC 239 brush. Followed by a fluffier brush with the lighter blue shade Enigma. Alright, here comes the fun bit, and here comes the challenging bit. I'm going to take this small detailer brush and some micellar water, Soaking the brush well and then wiping off the excess on the back of my hand. And then this brush with the makeup remover is going to act as an eraser. So I'm going to very lightly use it to remove the blue eyeshadow in a very thin kind of graphic line. So it's essentially creating negative space within the blue eyeshadows that we've already blended on. As I mentioned, this is inspired by the Mr. Fabulous Instagram post, but also I took inspiration from the Rain on Me music video where Sarah Dano used the matte white 911 shade to do graphic winged liner. And I'm curious to know exactly how she did it, because maybe she used a mixing medium or something, but that shadow would be pretty difficult to work with. It is very pigmented, but I'm assuming it needs something kind of sticky to go on top of. I know that Mr. Fabulous and a lot of other people have been using the Suva Hydra liner, the really white water activated liner that they have, to recreate that Rain on Me look. But anyways, I'm going to remove the blue eyeshadow, as I mentioned, with the makeup remover, and then I'll go over it with the matte white eyeshadow to create my graphic white wing. I found that the excess micellar water left in the brush helped to create almost a paste with the matte white eyeshadow. I think using water directly on the eyeshadow would have made it too runny, but I think this helped make it really pop and show up on the eye. So I'm just carefully and with really light short strokes going all the way along the line that I've already made there with the matte white, and then the look is almost complete for the eyes. I wanted to continue the white on the inner corner and the inner part of the lower lash line, but I want to use the shimmery white, and so I'm going to put down some NYX Jumbo Pencil in the shade Milk as a base, because I found when swatching the shimmery white eyeshadow, it needs something underneath it to really show. And that shimmery color is called Light Up. Okay, the time has come, my friends. I'm going to curl my eyelashes quickly here with my Shuimura eyelash curler, and then move on to my base. Firstly, the Victoria Beckham Morning Aura Illuminating Cream. It's going all over for just an extra bit of moisture. And then I'm going to use a primer, which I don't always do. This is a newer thing for me. This is the Smashbox foundation primer. It's a silicone base, really slippery one. I thought I would just start using it more regularly to see if it helps with the drier patches of my skin that I get. So in addition to moisturizing, putting something kind of slippery over them. For foundation, I'm going to use the IT Cosmetics CC Cream in the shade Fair. I find about 1.5 pumps to 2 pumps is plenty for the face. And this is the same base routine that I was wearing in my previous Haus Labs First Impressions, where I go through and show you the Glam Attack and the lip liner and lip gloss, so check that out if you want. But I've been very happy with this base routine. It's very glowy, but good coverage, and also, of course, an SPF 50, which is great. I'm going to use my Real Techniques Bold Metals Diamond Sponge to blend that in all over my skin. I mentioned at the beginning of the video that even though I'm a huge fan of Lady Gaga and almost everything she does, I did not order anything from Haus Labs for the initial launch. I'd heard for a while that Lady Gaga was putting together a makeup line, which did not surprise me. Makes a lot of sense for her image, her look, her brand. I'm only surprised it didn't happen sooner. I'm guessing maybe the arrangement or the partnership that Sarah Tano had with Marc Jacobs Cosmetics might have had something to do with that, because Sarah Tano is a big part of Haus Labs. Throwing on some eyebrow gel here, no big deal. And I feel like in the past, a celebrity makeup line wouldn't have been so successful. You know, you've seen it before where it's more of just an endorsement deal, but I feel like Rihanna really paved the way and set the bar high with Fenty Beauty, where this was like a really well thought out business and brand. It wasn't just like a money-making thing to do on the side. Putting on just a little bit of black liquid liner along the lash line. Yeah, so when I heard about Haus Labs, I was really excited. But then I was very disappointed to find out that the pre-order and launch was done exclusively through Amazon. And specifically the date was on Amazon Prime Day. I've really started to reevaluate the way I think about Amazon, the way I use Amazon, mostly due to their unfair labor practices and just working conditions for their staff. So it's a little disappointing because Prime Day is an important day for labor organizing around Amazon. So I know that eventually you could order it outside of Amazon. So I knew I wasn't going to order right away. I was excited about the products, especially the Glam Attack product was really interesting to me. But there wasn't anything that I was like, I am dying for this and I'm going to order through Amazon just to get it. You know what I mean? Now I do still occasionally order through Amazon because it's almost become a necessity for certain products, but I've really, really slowed down on my orders. I no longer have a Prime account, and I really only order if I absolutely can't find an item that I need there or if it's a significant discount. But then with the Stupid Love album coming out and the Stupid Love palette dropping, I was much more drawn to this launch than the earlier one. As I mentioned, these blues and purples that are in the palette like really speak to me, and just the whole vibe. So I waited, I guess, a year, I think. Haus Labs has been out for a good year or so, and ordered obviously directly through their website and not through Amazon. So that's where I'm at with Haus Labs. It was a slow burn for me. Okay. I am putting on some concealer here after my Amazon rant. And this is the Maybelline Fit Me concealer in the shade 5. I had initially thought this shade much too light for me, but I've started to use it and it sets down a little bit darker, and I'm quite happy with it. It was really the Pat McGrath concealer where I did a first impressions on and then compared swatches of the shade to some other concealers that I realized that this Fit Me concealer is actually a pretty close match for me, but provides a little bit of brightening, especially under the eyes, and a little bit of highlighting where I place it. The other reason I waited maybe to order is because, you know, the new album hadn't come out yet, but Chromatica's dropped and I really love it. I've been listening to it this whole time I was doing my makeup. My favorite songs are Alice, Enigma, Replay, Stupid Love, Rain on Me is Growing on Me, And I like 911, but I don't know, it makes me think of the police too much. And that's not something I want right now. And I love Chromatica 1, 2, and 3. The instrumental arrangements I think are beautiful. And they're great transitions to the different songs on the album. I love when you can listen to an album start to finish and it makes sense and it's cohesive. And I think that's what Chromatica is. Great from start to finish. Where are we at here? Okay, I'm putting some black eyeliner on my upper waterline just to help ground the look and get rid of the little fleshy bits on my lashes before finishing off with mascara. I'm also going to put a blue liner in the lower waterline to kind of tie it in with the whole look. And for that, I'm going to use an Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Liner. And I really like this color. It's almost like a denim color, which is cool to match up with this deep blue eye. Hey, I mean, what are your favorite songs from Chromatica? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know. Okay, we're almost done. I'm gonna take the clip set of my hair, give it a shake, and for lips, I mean, it only makes sense. I'm gonna use the Haus Labs lip gloss and lip liner that I picked up. So this is the shade Attitude, and I'm getting into it. I'm not really a lip gloss person, but I'm getting more comfortable with it. I think this color is really pretty, and it matches well with this kind of a little more bold eye look, you could say this is. And then I'm going to just lightly take the lip liner on top of the gloss to kind of just define the shape of my lips a little bit. Oh, and the lip liner is in the shade Rule. I'm looking forward to maybe trying some new products from Haus Labs. They've just released some new shades of lip liner and lip gloss, so I can only assume down the line there's going to be more and more products coming out. I'm really, really kind of getting desperate to try their liquid eyeliner because it's the one product that people seem to rave about, whether or not they like Lady Gaga or not. I mean, it's Juno Birch's favorite eyeliner right now, which basically tells you everything you need to know. But at the time, I couldn't justify $20 for a new black lip liner or black eyeliner when I've got some in my collection. But someday soon. All right, so this is the finished look. It's kind of tie-dye, kind of deep blue sea, inspired by Mr. Fabulous, and done with the new Stupid Love palette by Haus Labs. I hope you'll take a moment to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you again real soon.